Verse 9. While he was still speaking with them, Rachel came with her father's sheep, for she was a shepherdess. Okay, so he's speaking with them, finding out all this information. I mean, he was like trying to already organize everything before she's coming here. And then here she's coming, and she's a shepherdess. Okay? As well, a shepherdess, like David was a shepherd. Jesus is a shepherd as well. I'm the great I am. The Lord is my shepherd. Verse 10. Now as soon as Jacob saw Rachel, the daughter of Laban his mother's brother, and the sheep of Laban his mother's brother, Jacob came near and rolled a stone from the well's mouth and watered the flock of Laban his mother's brother. Then Jacob kissed Rachel and wept aloud. Okay, so what here? How does this differ when the servant met Rebekah and Jacob meeting Rachel here? In this case, in Rebekah's case, she was the one to water, go down the well, water give first water to the servant, and then give water to the camels. In this case now, the roles are reversed. Jacob is the one to roll the stone away, and then water the flock of his mother's brother. Another interesting difference is in the fact that there it was Laban, okay, running. Laban saw all the gold and the presents Rebekah got, and that made him come here. Okay, so now in this case, Rachel is not seeing the presents; he's seeing Rachel. Okay, so we can see then, like for Laban, the important thing was the gold that he can get. Now, with Rachel seeing the daughter of Laban and him going and doing all this for her, is then as well kind of pointing towards the fact that ultimately she is for him the most important. Not the things, but she. So there was a clear love at first sight kind of idea going on here. Okay, so he did all of this, and then he kissed her. Okay, understandably not like a husband and wife kind of would kiss, right? But in their culture, as a greeting. And he wept aloud. Now, this weeping aloud would be out of happiness, most likely. I mean, yeah, they liked weeping, and in a certain sense, a more expressive kind of society. But I think most likely out of happiness. Verse 12. And Jacob told Rachel that he was her father's kinsman, and it was Rebekah's son, and she ran and told her father. Okay, so I don't know, maybe she might have been shocked. Who's this guy? What is he doing? He's an outsider. But I mean, again. Photos, would not have seen a photo, she would have known about him, so by telling, she would have known, okay, and he told her now who he is, and that is Rebekah's son, a cousin, okay, and so, like Rebekah, her mother before, she turns and she went and she runs to her father and tells her father about the coming now of his nephew. And maybe Laban was expecting the same kind of stuff from Rebekah, from Jacob, as he got from the servant, because I mean now here is not just a servant, here is now the master of the house, so he ought to be able to give more. Okay, Laban is going to be in for a shock. Verse 13. And as soon as Laban heard the news about Jacob, his sister's son, he ran to meet him and embraced him and kissed him and brought him to his house. Jacob told Laban all these things, and Laban said, surely you are my bone and my flesh. And he stayed with him a month. Okay, so like then, like now, in the first time, meeting the servant here as well, Laban runs out before anybody steals maybe the possibility of income here. And he embraced him, he kissed him. I guess at that stage he was like a little bit shocked. Where are the camels? No camels. Where are the gold? He didn't see any gold. Okay, maybe this time it's going to look a little bit different, but I mean, the masters, he ought to. I mean, he heard so much about Isaac and that he got rich and all of those kinds of things, and that is just like important person down there, right? And so this led him. You can see Laban hasn't changed at all in his dealings with before the servant, and now in his dealings here with Jacob, he hasn't changed at all, and he's not going to change. Okay. But still, yeah, right, okay, so it's like looking, where's the stuff, and stuff, but, yeah, man, I mean, he's a kinsman, so I guess I need to do it, so you are bone of my flesh, right, and, so he stayed with him, And but Laban's not going to be satisfied with nothing. He wants something from Jacob, and so what can Jacob give him? And yeah, he can kind of be a slave to him. He can work for him. He's not going to call him a slave, but he's going to treat him basically like a slave, and let him work. They can work as a servant, and that is ultimately then what Jacob starts doing for Laban by staying there with him and then working for him for a whole month. Okay, so we will continue this part of the chapter now somewhere else. Now we're done with the well part. Here at the well, kind of a well, not really a well. And let's go and find another spot.